Hold on to your bat wings, folks, because the music world just witnessed a moment so electrifying, even your smartphone might have needed a reboot. Ozzy Osbourne, yes, the Prince of Darkness himself, received a star-studded, headbang-worthy tribute at the MTV Video Music Awards. The culprits behind this glorious festivity? None other than the irrepressible YUNGBLUD, legendary Aerosmith frontman Steven Tyler, and the guitar god Joe Perry. Let's dive into this epic, laughter-laced, energy-bursting affair, shall we? First things first, why Ozzy Osbourne, and why now? Well, aside from his ever-awesome catalog of epic riffs, madcap antics, and lyrical escapades from the beyond, Ozzy has long since cemented himself as a living legend. So, when MTV decided to dish out a tribute, they wisely roped in 3 performers capable of unleashing maximum mayhem with just a mic, a guitar, and a vocal cord or two. Cue YUNGBLUD's entrance, unexpectedly electric, visually chaotic, and utterly enthralling. Picture this: teenage rebellion incarnate, hopped up on adrenaline, stomping across the stage with more energy than a Red Bull factory, and belt singing lyrics like he absolutely means it. Suddenly, Steven Tyler bursts onto the scene, looking like he's part pirate, part rock and roll superhero, twirling his mic stand like it's his personal sword. Jackpot already, right? But oh no, MTV wasn't done. Enter Joe Perry, guitar slung low, riffs blazing, looking like he just discovered the elixir of eternal guitar soloing. Together, this dynamic trio turned the VMAs stage into a deliciously chaotic rock and roll playground, all in tribute to the man who once famously bit the head off a bat, and lived to tell the tale. Now, let's break it down, because, honestly, who doesn't love a play-by-play of rock and roll legendary? YUNGBLUD, the Mad Hatter of modern punk rock, kicked off the tribute like a firecracker. He bounded onto the stage with the kind of energy that suggests he's either had 10 espressos or just challenged a tornado to a dance-off. His vocals sliced through the venue like a serrated riff, urgent, emotional, and a little bit chaotic, but in the best way. At one point, he grabbed the mic stand, dipped so low you'd wonder if he was testing gravity, then exploded upward with a howl. You could swear even Ozzy, watching backstage, or maybe via astral projection, raised an eyebrow and thought, "Okay, kid, you've got spirit." Just when the audience thought they'd seen it all, Steven Tyler appeared in a burst of feathers, fringe, and pure rock aura. He took the stage in sequins and leather, exuding that special brand of, "I've screamed on stage for 50 years and loved every second," confidence. Tyler's voice is hard to define, part hurricane, part molten gold, part, did someone just unleash a jet engine that can sing? Each note was a masterclass in controlled chaos. He spun the mic stand like he was fighting off invisible demons, or possibly just showing off, and somewhere between the winks, struts, and screams, you realized, this man is rock and roll. And just when you thought it couldn't get more legendary, Joe Perry entered with all the subtlety of a lightning strike. Guitar slung low like a gunslinger, he unleashed a riff that sounded like thunder had been trapped in an amp. Joe didn't need to say a word, every note from his guitar spoke, screamed, whispered, and growled. There was grit in every slide, fire in every solo. It was the kind of performance that reminds you why people still spend thousands on vintage amps and dream about Fender guitars in their sleep. Together, the three created a performance that felt more like a spell being cast than a tribute performance. It was loud, it was messy, it was glorious. YUNGBLUD brought the youthful chaos, Tyler brought the seasoned swagger, and Perry brought the sonic thunder. It was a tribute not just to Ozzy, but worthy of Ozzy. And what was the Prince of Darkness himself doing while all this was going down? Ozzy Osbourne stood side stage, smiling that unmistakable Ozzy smile, equal parts proud dad, amused rock vampire, and, "I could still out-scream all of you, if I felt like it." When he walked on stage at the end, The audience erupted. He raised his hands in that classic devil horns pose and gave the performers a nod of approval. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't over the top. It was just Ozzy, real, raw, and unmistakably iconic. He didn't need to say anything. He was the moment. Some fans swear he whispered, "BL*die brilliant," under his breath. Others claim he muttered something about going for a cup of tea. But whatever he said, the audience, and the music world, felt it loud and clear. Ozzy is a legend, and this night was one for the books. Let's be honest, MTV has made some strange decisions over the years. But this wasn't one of them. This was magic. A tribute that could have gone corny, or been too polished, instead embraced the weird, the wild, and the wonderful. Exactly how Ozzy would have wanted it. It wasn't about nostalgia. It wasn't about trying to modernize a classic. It was about honoring a chaotic genius the best way rock knows how, by blowing the roof off and leaving the audience hoarse. YUNGBLUD proved that punk isn't dead. Steven Tyler showed that charisma only gets louder with age. Joe Perry reminded everyone that guitar solos are not just alive, they're thriving. And Ozzy? He reminded the world why he's survived decades in the industry, multiple near-death experiences, and countless cancel culture waves. Because you can't cancel real. You can't replace iconic. And you sure as hell can't ignore Ozzy Osbourne. So hats off to MTV for getting it right. This wasn't just a performance. It was a party, a riot, a love letter written in eyeliner, smoke, and sweet distortion. It was the kind of tribute that left you both headbanging and laughing. Because that's the real magic of Ozzy. Chaos with a wink. Here's to the bat-biting, reality show surviving, riff-loving prince of rock himself. Here's to the performers who brought the house down. And here's to the fans, old and new, who screamed their hearts out and remembered, for one glorious night, why rock still matters.